Welcome. Welcome. Come on in there. Come on in there, Jewel. Come on, my dear wife. Come a little closer. Come a little closer. Tonight, tell them the story about what we're going to do tonight.
Okay, well, while we're waiting for everybody to come in here, hubby is experimenting on me pretty much. The other night, I mentioned to you guys how I had seen this Pickle Pepsi guy on YouTube, and I guess his channel is actually J. What is it? Oh, M&J Metal. With the @ Marty and Jamie, and it's a metal detecting and switch games channel, but he's also tried different foods and also shown stuff that he's done, stuff he picked up from yard sales and whatnot. Anyway, I got super jealous because I saw that he already got a silver play button in Nothing Flat. After I had seen this Pickle Pepsi thing that he's done, and he's done some other stuff too, like hot sauce Pepsi and stuff like that. But anyway, apparently this Pickle Pepsi drink concoction is something that they sell at KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and I guess it costs a few dollars for a drink.
$4.
And then my husband said that I couldn't knock it until I tried it, because I was like, how the heck is he getting so many views?
There is
for
at the end of the video, after you drink this, you were to eat the pickles. How many slices would you like?
That's enough pickles.
Okay. Are you sure? Because there's only like...
Okay, you can put a couple other pickles in there.
Right,
but
just one more. One more pickle. All right, guys.
Okay.
You got the pickle
anyway,
pot.
This guy used bread and butter pickles on his. I don't know what KFC uses, and what pickles we had here in the camper are hamburger dill pickle chips. So let's see.
And it requires that you add brine. And the guy,
pickle brine in there.
he just poured a bunch in there, right? So there was no measure or anything.
You gonna give me some ice cubes that when you
Some ice out of the baby mason
And this
jar.
guy didn't use it, and this guy on on his channel, he didn't use ice. He says he never uses ice. And but I'm very apprehensive about this. I don't know. Should I trust Jack here?
Oh.
I don't know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Alrighty. We usually just start and we just wait for people to show up. So I thought that this would be quite interesting. So
you're gonna have to try it too,
this is a lady's drink. A lady.
That guy on the channel wasn't a lady.
Well, this is so much for that idea. Okay, that's a half a jar. It's what is this, a 20 ounce? So I imagine that's about 10 ounces of Pepsi with ice cubes. And, oh yeah.
But also, blasphemy. I'm not exactly a Pepsi person myself. Although I know that
you love Pepsi.
You love the Pepsis.
I do love the Pepsi.
I'm more of a Coke and Dr. Pepper type person.
Mixed together?
No, not mixed together.
Okay. So,
but even more than that, I like coffee, iced coffee, not iced coffee, but actual like cold brew black coffee over ice.
Would you like more Pepsi, or would you like to save the other 10 ounces for washing that down?
Probably save it for washing this down.
All right.
Because I am very apprehensive of this.
See a number 1 in the comments. You want to see her drink this? Oh yeah.
Should I try this?
Hold on. We got to see if we have any moderators in here before we start the show.
This is what it looks like, guys.
No.
There's like, can you see that? He put pickle chips in there, and he put pickle brine in there. And
okay, I see we have. Wait a minute, don't start.
My ice.
We don't have any mods in here yet.
It's still almost. Yeah, where's our troll hunters? And
So now I have to moderate and prepare the beverage. Come on, guys. Where's my mods? Where's the mods for the evening?
Okay.
Not yet. Let's wait for the mods.
That's some weird stuff going on. Anyway, and then I'm pretty sure he put the topic of this video up there, which is Ian Watkins and the events that took place today. And then at the end, we will also do some discussion on the Barry Morphew case. And
Oh, hold on, my dear, hold on. We are going to be demonetized for tonight's story. They are going to ban this video, I am sure, because this is a very vile, horrible, horrible criminal that we'll be talking about tonight. This is a true crime channel, and we just happened to make a special little cocktail that we found stumbling around YouTube, and here it is.
yeah.
Where are you? We're in North America. Liberal
United
freaks.
States, North America, yeah.
Yeah, we're in the United States. Liberal. Someone called us a liberal freak. That's nice, thank you. Are those
Next, they're going to say they were the leaders of Antifa, too. Antifa. You know what?
Dude, we straight up run that shit.
And what's really crazy about all this is people are making Antifa be a bad thing. You know, it actually stands for anti-fascist. And a lot of my ancestors are in a special Antifa cemetery, so are his. It's called Arlington. And a lot of them died fighting Nazis and stuff like that. So it's just crazy to think that this is being turned into being like some sort of secret thing or whatever.
Hey, we only welcome the LGBTQ guys here.
Yeah.
You guys want to come here and hang out?
What, if
you
somebody
know,
says something bad about them?
You know, like this staying off the grid. If you want to come on the channel, you're totally welcome, as we welcome all the LGBTQ and any other letters that I've missed out. But yeah, you're welcome to be here, hang out with us.
Yeah, it's all about love, guys. All about love.
But I don't know anything about them, honestly.
Well, we also have lots of relatives that he just claims not to know anything about our relatives.
So gay. Somebody's gay. I think it's this guy. I don't want to put him in a timeout, so just don't get any more vulgar than that, and you can stay talking, okay?
Okay.
So, yeah, we're going to talk about some terrible true crime in a moment. Go ahead, hit it. All of it. Ziggy zaggy, all of it. The whole thing. Ziggy zaggy. Oh, go, go, go. Oh, it's good.
It's weird.
More. Mason jars. Well, that's actually a ball jar.
It's not as bad as I thought it would be.
Finish it up. Remember, you have to get.
I was imagining that it was going to be hideous.
No thanks.
Yes. Come on.
No,
You have to.
pickles in it. No,
You're making me. Oh yeah, you don't do pickles.
I'm allergic to pickles.
No, you're not. This guy is weird. Okay, you guys. He loves pickle relish, and he'll put pickle relish on like everything. And he won't eat pickles. Is that weird or what?
It's good, huh?
I am not sure. It is unusual.
Well, go ahead and finish it up. Eat the pickles like that guy did. That guy ate the pickles.
I'll eat a pickle right now, and I will like nurse this drink.
Hey, it's good because KFC charges $4 for this.
Okay.
You guys were trying to hit 10,000 subs, so if you guys want to hit that subscribe button, you can change your mind later. Where's all those moderators?
These are good pickles. I don't know where we got them. Open Nature, fresh packed pickle chips.
So this isn't a food channel, not really. It's the first time we've done this.
Oh, Lucerne Foods from Pleasanton,
Oh.
California. No wonder I like it.
Must be a Safeway thing.
I like Lucerne, so.
Anyways, you guys got Safeway where you live? We have Safeway. All West Coast, Mountain States. We all have Safeway. So, you want to get started with the terrible story? I wish we had some moderators here. So, was it a success for the Pepsi and pickles?
Yeah, surprisingly so.
Right.
I'm very surprised. I expected that I was going to use a bucket off to the side or something. But no, it's all right.
Oh, we're down
Anyway, the story that we're bringing tonight
Moonlight. Welcome.
we'll give the background of the case too, but this guy, Ian Watkins, lost his life this morning,
Watkins where?
Ian Watkins in the UK. He was in the... I wrote down the name of the prison, just a second. He was HMP Wakefield, and it's known as Monster Mansion because it's where they put the worst of the worst of the worst in the UK. And this guy more than deserved what happened to him.
This guy was.
I gotta
bastard,
try not to be
I tell
too
you what.
gleeful because a while back I did a karma video being very excited about the unaliving of Robert Pickton.
And that was also prison justice.
And yeah, that was also prison justice. And then I got a message from YouTube telling me not to be so gleeful about the death of people, even that kind of person. And so
yes, Penny.
there's a quote that was attributed to
What
it was
were you talking about? I was placing product. What was it?
You confused me. It was attributed to Mark Twain. There's a quote that goes along the lines of, while I would never wish for another person, for another man's death, there are some obituaries that I will read with glee. So, anyway, let's get into it. Ian Watkins was the lead singer of a band called Lost Prophets, and they actually made it onto the top of the charts in the United States. They're a UK band, but they made it onto the top of the charts in the United States in what year was this? I have it written down somewhere.
I know some of our viewers commented.
I've got this all
earlier.
Wonky backwards, but anyway, I'll just start from the beginning of my notes and then just work my way through it, guys. I mean, because it is ugly, and I'm going to have to be very careful, though, of how I say it, because this is a nasty case, and I'm not even going to go into the details of what this guy did or why he, but give you the general idea of why he deserved what happened to him. Last Train Home hit #1 in the United States, and that might have been near the end of his career because of what was found out about him.
What are they
Anyway.
saying about him and Chester Bennington?
Chester Bennington hated his guts. Chester Bennington of Lincoln Park. And I think Chester just, because of everything that Chester had been through, I'm pretty sure that Chester, when he saw this guy, he could see the pure evil staring out from behind this guy's eyeballs at him. And Chester knew exactly what kind of monster this man was. And this guy did not like Chester because Chester did not like him. And anyway, first, before I get into what he did, which will come right away with it, this guy, Ian Watkins, was the stepson of a Baptist minister. He was a straight A honor student and graduated from the University of, was it University of Wales? I can't read my own writing.
Wales sounds correct.
And anyway, then in 1997, graduate of the University of Wales, yay! In 1997, he founded Lost Prophets, And in 2004, their follow-up album, Start Something, got 2.5 million sales, and these guys rocketed to stardom. And 2004, also, at the onset of this stardom, is when Ian Watkins started using his clout for very nefarious purposes. And it began with underage female fans backstage. And just for starters, he started out with 16-year-olds, which, you know, that's horrible what he did to them in particular, because it also, besides enjoying being there first, he also liked to basically go around the world with them and to then humiliate them by going to the bathroom on top of them and stuff like that.
Dude, you got yellow light right now.
Yeah, yellow light for sure.
You've been demonetized.
For sure. But anyway, he did that stuff. And then he went to ever younger fans. And he also had some adult female companions, girlfriends and stuff, who were totally starstruck by him. And one of these women was an on-off girlfriend who also happened to be a lady of the night. So cops didn't really listen to her when her name is Joanne. And she started gathering information on Ian. And, you know, he would confess things that he was doing, nefarious things that he was doing. He would take pictures of nefarious things that he was doing, and he would send them to her. And then she forwarded these on to the police, and they would not even investigate. And she just kept keeping records of all of this, and we'll get back to that in a moment.
Would not listen to her because of what she did.
Because of what she did for a living, they decided not to pay attention to her whatsoever. And if they had listened to her, a lot of kids would have been spared a lot of trouble, a lot of horribleness.
That sounds awfully familiar with that other story that we've been covering as well.
Yeah, like David and his underage girl.
Yeah.
But anyway, but she is nowhere near as far underage as what this guy ended up having a preference for.
Deeper and
this
darker.
Guy went so much deeper, so much darker, so much so that his youngest was 10 months old.
Yes, Karen.
And it was horrible. And then he never showed any remorse for anything that he did. He even straight up said that he claimed he wasn't a PDF file, that he just did this for the mega lols. Which is like, what kind of sick demon would even consider saying stuff like that? Anyway, this guy had been abusing youngsters, some of them young fans, others the children of fans, and he would record it, he would take pictures of it, he had no secrets about it.
So much in his collection.
He had so much in his collection. He actually had 27 terabytes of material, of terribleness, which not only did he do terribleness to children, he also did terribleness to animals. This guy was a super sicko. Anyway, in 2008, he was a full-blown meth addict, and that's when he started confessing to girlfriends about these fetishes about children and about animals. And so some women broke up with him immediately when he told them this stuff. This one, Joanne, just kind of like stuck around back and forth gathering information on him because she wanted him off the streets, because she was like, this is sick. And anyway, Joanne in 2008 turned in a home movie and cell phone evidence of her and Ian together, where in the middle of the act, Ian told her that he wanted to get her pregnant so that he could do stuff to the baby. And she gave that information to the police, and they didn't investigate. And she gave them the information because, he just felt like confessing to her all the time. He would unsolicited send her pictures of what he was doing to other, like underage kids and stuff like that. And then she would turn around and give it to police. And eventually, she actually was charged with possessing the material that he sent her. Which, yeah, and eventually, I said material, I didn't say the forbidden words.
Yeah, forbidden words.
And, anyway, eventually that was dropped against her because the cops finally paid attention and understood that, because she did document each and every single time that she brought them information and, emailed them information, tried to get them to investigate this guy. And she brought so much information to the police between 2008 and 2011, the last date being on May 29th, 2011. She reported that Ian had R-worded a young child. And then on September 21st, 2012, Ian was actually arrested, but not for anything like this. He was arrested on drugs charges because the police were watching him for the drugs. And then when they raided him, controlled substances, for the controlled substances, and when they raided him for the controlled substances, his computer was seized, and that's when they discovered that 27 terabytes of horribleness on his computer and such.
He must have had multiple removable.
And actually, there was so much material that it was more than what the police force's computers could handle, and so the police force had to get new equipment just to be able to process, or the prosecutor's office. I don't exactly know how it works over there, but they needed to get new equipment just to be able to process what all they got on this guy. And then Joanne isn't the only one who had been reporting him over the years. There were actually many other people, and people from other countries as well, who, when the band would go on tour and they would hit a country, and of course, he didn't behave just because he was on the road. And so people there would then report back to the UK saying, hey, and of course they would report to their local authorities as well, but their local authorities would say, well, the band's gone now, there's nothing we can do. So also charged alongside him, there were also 2 women who got charged alongside him because they included their own kids in sick videos that they did for Ian to watch and use. And anyway, so Ian ended up being convicted, and he was sentenced to 35 years. And luckily, he's been in there having a miserable time.
He's been getting his prison justice this whole time.
Yeah, lots of different stuff. A lot of stuff didn't get reported because as long as, it's not serious enough for a prisoner to have to be transported outside the prison walls, they can keep what's happening to the prisoners kind of on the down low. But 2 years ago, Ian was actually taken hostage by 3 other inmates who took turns whipping him to within an inch of his life over a period of time, and then they used a
They beat the hell out
and then
of
they
that
used a
guy.
shiv on his neck, and at that time he ended up in critical condition, taken to the hospital, and it wasn't known whether he was going to make it at that time. But that's when the world got to know that he was a marked man. He had
Oh yeah, he was on a
he
list.
he was basically, that's when everybody found out he was on a list that he was basically a dead man walking. And so then that brings us to this morning at the prison. And it was like a routine situation where the cell doors unlocked, the prisoners were going to go get their breakfast, and once those doors got unlocked, an inmate whose name has not been released yet at this point in time went right at Ian with a
Easy.
pre-ready instrument, and with calculated precision went straight to the jugular. And Ian was gone before he hit the floor. The guards immediately, as soon as they saw something was happening, rushed to him, but by the time they got to Ian, he was gone.
Dude, other creators said they were trying to use that instrument like it was a saw.
And I don't think that was this one. This was with the three guys a couple years ago that tried to use the saw. This other person was just precision, precise. They knew exactly what they were doing, where they were aiming for, and what they intended to do. And then the prison went into lockdown. Investigators went in there, and it was being investigated as a homicide. And Ian was 48 years old.
How many years left did he
Yeah.
have? Do you know?
Let's see. He was in
How did he
2000.
make it?
In 2013, he was sentenced to 35 years. Some people were saying that he would have had to serve 29 of that. So he was like part way into it. More than a decade and a half anyway.
Wow,
into
that's
it,
a decade of torture for this.
and couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. And I'm pretty happy that it happened in the manner that it did, and that the survivors of his crimes don't have to worry about him breathing the same air they are anymore. And once the identity is made known of the inmate who ridded the world of Ian Watkins, as long as they also aren't a monster towards children, I would suggest that people might want to give him some gifts onto his books. I know another creator was saying that as long as this guy isn't a monster, he's going to be making sure this guy has as many honey buns and soups as he wants.
Yeah, I think we should support him because he's going to get extra time now, probably.
Yeah, he's probably going to get extra time. They're probably going to give him, a murder one charge or whatever the equivalent is over there. But this Ian guy, if anybody deserved what happened, it's this Ian guy.
Let us know in the comments, guys, what you think about this. Is this kind of content you want to see on this channel, or is it a little bit too graphic for you?
Oh,
This is how we roll.
and also just a little thing about how gross this Ian Watkins guy was. When the cops managed to crack the codes to get into his computer and find out, and find all this information that was right there for everybody to see, his password was IF kids. And I didn't say the word, but you get the idea. Proud of it. It even had to be his password.
Oh,
Disgusting.
horrible humans, dude.
I mean, this horrific.
I assume
Horrific.
he had all the money he could use, and this is what he chose to do with it.
Horrific. And I am thinking that once we know who the hero is, once that's made known, I'm sure that it'll be easy to figure out whether they're just like an ordinary criminal or if they're a disgusting criminal.
How's that Pepsi and pickle working out? Still pretty good?
I think it's even better now. It's either growing on me or maybe it's because the ice is melting and
Some KFC
dissipating.
pickles and Pepsi. I wonder where that originates from. You know, KFC is always putting pickles on things. Like the little sandwiches, they put pickles on there. I'm like, that doesn't work
Well,
out.
I like pickles, so there's that. Well, and like distract them for a second. I'm gonna cough.
Better don't cough again. Joy, she's still getting over that cold. If you've been on here for a couple of days, you know that she started off really bad.
Yeah.
Now she's got only a little bit of cough left.
Man. Anyway,
I think
Our
I
s-
think they put all those inmates in general population.
well, it was they opened all the cell doors and everything and let them all go to breakfast together, and that's how this happened. It was right after all the cell doors opened.
Obviously, he wasn't in any kind of protection. Obviously,
Obviously.
because they knew he already was getting beat this whole time, a whole freaking decade. So,
Yeah.
I think prison. Oh, guys.
Sorry. Maybe the pickles are a little bit strong.
So,
Put a little bit of Pepsi into the regular
what are we
little cup.
going to talk about now?
Now we will hop on over to some of the information from the Barry Morphew case, and unfortunately I can't go over Rainbow's post completely because our son isn't here right now, so I can't use his phone to look, and we can't, look on this phone while streaming. But if I remember correctly, she was making some more points regarding the Morphew case and the witness list, and Rainbow pointed out that this woman that we were talking about yesterday, who was on the list, she was actually on the witness list last time around too, for the trial that didn't take place. And this woman was convicted of exploiting children and drug trafficking and human trafficking and stuff like that there in Chaffee County, and she's now in prison in Pueblo, Colorado, and I am assuming that she's going to get some sort of sweet deal.
She's going to get a sweetheart of a deal if she puts old Bear away.
Yeah. And and so there was that information.
Was, probably kind of disappointed that it didn't go to trial last time, if she was already locked up by that point.
Yeah, you would think so. And anyway, that was interesting. And then also interesting was discovering that there's a relationship of, like kind of a convoluted, like I feel like putting up a board and have the names of different witnesses and their links to each other, because it turns out that this chick has connections to someone with the last name of Quintana, who happens to be related to Edna Quintana, who happens to be the woman who went missing and who they were looking for when they found Suzanne's remains near a trailer that was owned by Carl Colby, who was kind of a suspect in Edna's disappearance as well. And apparently, and Carl was on the witness list, but I've heard that he has since succumbed to cancer. I have not been able to verify that yet. But anyway, then Edna herself was found deceased about 2 years after she went missing. And, and Carl is likely the last person that was with Edna. And then Carl worked as a landscaper and other, jack of all trades type things, but he is one of the people that was one of the many different subcontractors, or whatever you want to call it, people that Barry Morphew employed. And so there's this interesting pattern developing between Barry, these various people, and the circles that they move around in, and kind of showing that Barry moves around in some pretty dark circles.
Those investigators must have been seriously busy over the last few years.
Yeah, getting all of this and
making a picture of them for themselves.
And it has not been released yet how Edna died, but I suspect that I suspect that life was taken while she was out with her boyfriend out in the wilderness. Her remains were found in the wilderness, but after 2 years, there's not that much that could be found. I will be interested to figure out. And no, I don't believe Edna was nefarious at all. I believe that Carl Colby might have had some nefarious ties, but that Barry himself is nefarious, and that through this web of relationships that ties Edna and Suzanne by whatever degrees of separation, I guess is the word I'm looking for, that this all goes back to Barry. Carl worked for Barry. This woman that's in prison that had a tie to a relative of Edna's is also a trafficker of young women. And Barry had those searches on his phone looking for hot young women or girls in Salida and stuff like that. And starting to make the gears twirling in my brain, trying to figure out. This is going to be a very interesting trial, is what I'm thinking. And and then it seems that a lot of the stuff that wasn't confirmed per se, stuff that we picked up on when we were talking to people out and about, when we were boots on the ground, stuff that we didn't bring to the channel because it was basically hearsay. And now it's starting to appear that some of this hearsay stuff that we were being told, it looks like there's actually evidence that points more to this stuff not just being rumors.
It's more likes in here, please.
And then another thing is the fact that Rainbow stumbled across this too and refreshed my memory when I was reading this, and that's that Lisa Wolf, the BAM expert, the wildlife expert that is on the list now, and who was supposed to testify, but might have been, I don't remember if she was actually eliminated through that that whole thing where the judge was saying different experts had to be thrown out because of procedural mistakes on the part of Linda Stanley and her crew. Anyway, I remember that Iris was trying to say that Lisa Wolf couldn't testify because she was an expert, and through um, wildlife and veterinary services and stuff like that, and saying that she couldn't testify as to what the BAM would do to Suzanne because BAM is made for animals. But the fact that is that BAM is an acronym for the three main ingredients, which are all different drugs that have had different applications, sedative applications or pain reliever type applications in humans. So it wouldn't be a stretch to say, okay, well, B does this, and A does this, and M does this.
And I know at least
all
two of
different
those
human.
have been tried.
And then if you put all three of them together inside a human, you got a pretty good idea of what would happen to a human. But also, chances are that if they have a paralyzing effect on an animal, they are likely going to have a paralyzing effect on a human as well, especially since the way that it's metabolized, the way it goes into the system, the way it works, is that it does need to be injected, and so an injected substance is likely to work the same way, and it wouldn't really be a stretch to see how this would work on a human being. And as Suzanne's brother was saying in the victim's impact statement, it's been made very clear to Suzanne's family what Suzanne's last hours must have been like. And it's also clear from studies on what BAM does to animals and what these different chemicals do to humans, the ones that have been studied, that it is not a stretch of the imagination to be able to assume that Suzanne's last time was terrifying, that she was paralyzed but alert and couldn't call out, but was aware that her life was being taken, and and then there was just nothing she could do about it. She was helpless, and so I'm getting choked up just remembering David's witness impact statement. I've read it a couple times on the channel. I don't have it with me right now, but it's just
the brother, Suzanne's brother.
Yeah, David Moorman, Suzanne's brother, and it's clear that the prosecution has kept her family in the loop on everything and what they're expected to learn. No surprises. They know what likely happened, and they know what's going to be revealed in court. And an interesting part of this is that because prior to him being charged, Barry was still Suzanne's husband, he also, by law, had to be considered a victim impact. So he also needed to be informed of everything that they learned, including about the BAM and Suzanne's system, the fact that it metabolized, and he and his legal team were informed where this was going and what the grand jury was going to hold. I have not been able to verify yet. I've been told that the daughters are not in Colorado but are standing by their dad. I have been told that the daughters are living their lives and so far seem to be thinking along the lines that their dad didn't do this, or else they're just publicly giving the impression that they believe their dad didn't do this. It sounds like their external behavior hasn't really changed from what other people have observed in the past, where they were shocked and upset to see the girls like living it up, living life, attending parties and things like that while Suzanne was missing. It appears that either they're very much in denial, or they are very good at keeping up appearances, or all of the above. I am not going to jump to any conclusions on them at this point, though, because I am very guilty of jumping to conclusions regarding Al Stauch when Gannon Stauch was still missing, and then when his remains were found and stuff, all the way up until Al was testifying against Letitia. All the way up until that point, I mistook Al's silence, his not going to the public, his not making Facebook posts, his not making any posts at all regarding that, regarding the case, and not making any pleas or anything like that. I mistook that as being indifference or him just, getting on with his life or whatever, and did not realize at all that that was him being very careful to be very certain that justice would be served and that Letitia Stauch would never be released. He was making sure that his son was getting justice. He was making sure that that day in court was going to arrive and there was going to be no doubt in the jurors' minds, no doubt in the judge's mind, no doubt in anyone's mind that Letitia Stauch is a monster.
It's an understatement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we see a lot of monsters, and while it might seem like I use that word lightly because I've mentioned a few different monsters, I don't use that term lightly. The people that I call monsters are monsters.
Now I'm going to shake the camera around and make you guys get dizzy. It's just too much light. Welcome to our channel, everybody. We talk about true crime here. That's about what we do.
Okay, now that I cleanse my palate with some regular Pepsi, I'm going to take another drink of this concoction that my husband created earlier after we saw it on a video by... I'm going to give them the shout out again, but I don't remember his name or MJ.
Forget. So tonight she is drinking KFC, pickles, and Pepsi.
Okay, M&J Metal. And they have the @ Marty and Jamie on YouTube, and he did a video where he used bread and butter, pickles, and Pepsi. My husband is using hamburger dill pickle chips from Lucerne, and he put them in the glass with some ice and some pickle brine and Pepsi.
It has to be in a canning jar as well. I think the canning jar just adds that extra goodness. What do you think?
It grows on you.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that, yeah, it's got to be the canning jar. The canning jar makes all the difference. That's the secret ingredient.
So who do you think is the worst monster in true crime? Who do you think this could have been? Overall. In all your years studying true crime, all the way back to, the very beginning.
That is a tough one because there's different aspects, different crimes. Like,
let's leave the crimes against children out of the discussion.
Okay. So if you take that out of it, I would say
narrow it down somewhere.
To narrow it down somewhere, it would depend on whether you're going with psychological and like betrayal, or if you're going more along the lines of just shock and awe, oh my gosh, because Ed Kemper, the co-ed
killer, California,
that is truly sick. This guy,
plus he was 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
How tall was he?
real,
he was a very big guy.
He may still be alive too. I don't remember.
And then he helped people catch other criminals.
Yeah, because he's highly intelligent as well, and it appears that there was abuse in his childhood, and that he's got a screw loose along the way. He slipped through the cracks. There had to have been a point somewhere where all this could have been avoided if he'd been properly treated, or if um, if he had been locked up and not let go. Um, or something. But anyway, he is he's got a screw loose to where
That's your professional opinion. I screw this.
well,
That's
yeah,
what
it's
you're
my
going with,
professional opinion too, but I'm putting it in layman's terms and stuff and trying not to like be overly professional about it per se, because I'm not actually working as a psychologist at this point in time. So I would say that best way to put it is this guy ended up having a fetish, I suppose, or I don't remember. I can't think of a better term for it, but basically Ed Kemper is wired wrong to where for him murder is foreplay, and he cannot find his release unless
That's like that toy box.
the
killer
person
guy.
except for he likes the toy box killer liked them to be alive when he was doing stuff.
Oh yeah.
And Ed Kemper never had relations with a living person. And he did not have relations with
Ed Kemper.
he let's just say he did some disgusting things, and that's the way that he got his pleasure, was after the
And what about
after
his-
decapitation.
When he took his mom, did he delete her friend as well that day?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I didn't remember.
Yeah, he did away with his mom, and then
What?
invited her best friend over and deleted her as well.
And what happened after that? Did he go for a drive?
Yeah, he drove, and I believe he actually went to Pueblo, Colorado,
Oh yeah.
and then he called
Oh yeah.
and turned himself in because he was done now, because his actual obsession all along had been with deleting his mother. And once that was done, and took out his mother's best friend for good measure, once that was all done, he had nothing else he desired to do. So then he decided to turn himself in.
Although we talk about these terrible stories, YouTube likes to see all the comments put in a family-friendly format. So you gotta use alternative words, or someone or YouTube will hold the comment and won't allow it to be public.
Mhm.
It's not us. It's not the mods. It's YouTube hides it a lot of times.
And yeah, Karen, Ed Kemper, there have been many interviews with psychologists and psychiatrists and such, and Ed clearly states that
Come
he
here, kitty.
never
Come here, kitty.
had
Come here, kitty.
a living
Come here, kitty.
sex partner.
Can you say that?
I think so, but I'm not positive whether I can say it or not. But it's buried here in the program, so I think I've probably been saying worse tonight anyway.
Yeah, we're gonna be. In
But
a lot of
anyway,
trouble
so I
this-
think
this week.
Ed is right up there as being one of the worst. Another, two other worsts are Jeffrey Dahmer and John Wayne Gacy.
Dahmer didn't make it when he was locked up either.
That is true. And yeah, I think it's especially heinous when people It's just disgusting, and
Tell
I'm
us
not
about
into that kind
Dahmer.
of thing.
Do tell. We are a true crime channel.
Well,
Tell us about Dahmer.
Actually, what he did was really disgusting and really bad, but I understand from studying him the reasoning behind it, what his particular disconnect was, which was that he had a problem with abandonment and he felt like he possessed these people. They couldn't leave him if he took their lives, and that if he ate part of them, that they would always be with him.
Mm-hmm. We
And,
do that. We do cannibal on this channel.
I was gonna say, we don't eat people. What are you talking about?
Have you tried these pickles? They're very good. We have cannibal stories on this channel occasionally.
Yeah,
And those two guys in Missouri, those
Yeah.
guys out there near the fishing access, Dallas County,
James Phelps and Timothy Norton, and
those guys pretty terrible as well.
they're pretty terrible. But I don't think that they really rank up there with the worst of the worst, because I mean, except for with the betrayal factor. But they preyed on people, and I don't believe that Cassidy Rainwater was their first victim, and I don't believe she would have been their last. I believe there would have been more, and I believe that there was more before Cassidy, but we're never going to get the full truth on that, because among other things, law enforcement and the general public, the people in charge, politics, etc., nobody wanted the full truth released. And for that matter, I bet Cassidy's family really didn't want the whole truth out there either. They knew that these guys did atrocious things to Cassidy, and they knew that they took Cassidy's life, and they probably didn't want to have to go through that again and again and again, listening to it all the way through trial and through sentencing and all that kind of thing. So there was a plea bargain. They're both doing life without the possibility of parole, and so done deal, done and over. But that doesn't allow for answers as to whether there were other victims. That doesn't give us answers as to whether there were other accomplices or anything like that. And unfortunately, that's what happens sometimes, is that in order to put guilty people away, sometimes law enforcement or the courts have to make a deal with the devil, pretty much, and put some away and let others be free, just to be sure that some are put away.
I get some of them locked up. I don't think Ed Gein, although he gets all the credit, recognition as being a bad guy, I don't think he's one of the worst.
No, he's gross, but he's not one of the worst. He, as far as I know, only took the lives of 2 people. Everything else was grave robbing and doing disgusting things with the already deceased people that he then violated and dug up and used.
The Night Stalker. Thoughts?
Richard Ramirez. I think that drug use probably had a lot to do with his trip into madness, as well as early exposure to both crime and both violence and
Mods, can you take that out? I can't read that.
and naughty prawn.
This one.
Oh, the Golden State Killer. That's an especially bad one too, because that goes into the as I was saying about betrayal. That is a betrayal on the general public. The Golden State Killer, that's the one that turned out to be police officer, or by the time he was caught, former police officer, correct? I'm trying to remember my different California cases, but I believe that he had lots of extra information and stuff like that on his victims, and that he ordinarily wouldn't have had if he wasn't in law enforcement. And so and he had the education of being a law enforcement officer, so knowing procedures and evidence collection and all that sort of thing, so that he knew how to keep from being caught for a long time until the tech got beyond his skill set.
How about someone that's been recently convicted or let free due to DNA?
Oh, yeah, and that would be the purpose of even keeping them alive, is some of the cases that even in recent history are people that were wrongfully convicted, and it looked like, from the evidence, from the testimony, from what a jury was convinced, and they went to prison. And in the case of the yogurt shop killing, one guy actually had spent 4 years on death row before his conviction was overturned, and now he's been exonerated due to the DNA and proof that a different serial killer person, this guy that was originally convicted is not a serial killer, but it became known now that it was a serial killer that had killed the girls in the yogurt shop. And it was DNA testing that finally caught up and was able to show that this other guy is the one who had done it. And
I said we weren't going to talk about children. What about
Laken Riley, or is that her last name? I forgot what her last name is.
Maybe not.
Laken somebody.
Snelling.
Where did I get Riley from?
I don't know. Laken Snelling out of...
But Laken Snelling...
What state was that? Mississippi?
No.
No? I go get it.
I wonder if it's in this one.
We don't have it in this cheat book.
I don't have it in this cheat book.
Anyway, she was a cheerleader. She was a college girl.
Yeah, Laken
just tell it from
Snelling,
memory.
and yeah, I'll tell it. It's just I don't remember.
Maybe it was
it Kentucky?
Possibly. That's fine.
But anyway, in her case, Laken is 21 or 22 years old. She is a junior, or was a junior, at the University of Kentucky. She was a cheerleader on the cheer squad.
Laken Riley was somebody
Oh,
else.
unalived in Georgia last year. That's right. That's where I got the Laken Riley. But yeah, Laken Snelling, currently living in Tennessee. She's on house arrest, going back and forth between her mom's house and her dad's house there, while she's awaiting trial. I guess she waived her right to a preliminary and is going straight to grand jury or something. I forget exactly. It's a procedural thing anyway. And right now she has not been charged with homicide. She's just been charged with concealing a birth, and I
wonder. We're still waiting on the results back from the
there's still a few.
This has been what, 10 days?
Yeah, there's still a few weeks out from being able to have the microscopic evidence to see whether or not definitively Laken's baby boy had been born alive or not. Laken's own descriptions of the events are contradictory, because on the one hand she says that the baby was stillborn, But on the other hand, she says that she saw fetal movement, which, after the birth, which, at that point, that's baby's movement. But anyway, and she also said that she noticed after having fallen asleep on top of him that he was turning blue and purple, which would indicate that the circulatory system was functioning. But she's also saying that he was not born alive. So they need to find out that before they know whether or not to charge her with anything. And then even if he was born alive, they're going to have to determine whether to charge her with being reckless or on purpose taking the child's life or what. And it appears, though, that this is a woman in her early 20s. She's 21 or 22 years old. And she had two boyfriends that she
admits having.
Yeah, she has two boyfriends that she admits to having had relations with in the time frame where she became pregnant with this infant boy. She appears not to have told either one of them that she was pregnant. She appears not to have told anyone that she was pregnant, although she did have some searches in her search history that seemed to indicate that she was looking at different stages of development in a pregnancy. But she also was Googling concealed pregnancy and things like that. And on the night in question, around between 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning, on I believe it was August 27th, Lakin gave birth in her room in a shared home that she had with a few other roommates off campus. And they heard noise, the other roommates. And at one point, something banged into a shared bedroom wall, so that one roommate had a photo come off the wall in their room. And the roommates were all talking in their group chat, just like, the roommates in the group chat during the Idaho 4 case. Remember, they were asking, what was that noise and blah, blah, blah. Well, anyway, same thing in the Lakin Snelling case. Lakin did not join the chat until the following morning, a little after 8 a.m. She joined the chat and said that she had been ill between 4 and 5 in the morning and that she was going to go to the campus clinic when she went to school. What Lakin did was she gave birth between 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. She took selfies of herself while in labor, and she deleted some of the photos, which police were able to undelete or whatever. But she also had left some of them in her phone. And after giving birth, she proceeded to cover it up. She first wrapped the baby, as she says, like a burrito in a towel. Then she said she fell asleep on top of him. But, she said she fell asleep with him for comfort and ended up on top of him. And then she woke up when her alarm went off, like regular. And at that point, she decided to clean up. She texted her roommates, and she put the baby in his towel inside of a trash bag along with all the cleaning materials, because she tried to clean up the mess and everything in the room, and she got the afterbirth and everything, and put it all in a trash bag and put it in her closet. And then she left for school. But she didn't go to class. She used her app to order McDonald's, and then she had McDonald's, and she went over to the clinic on campus, but she didn't go in. She sat in the parking lot outside the clinic, and then she went home, where she was greeted by law enforcement, because right after she had left the house, the suspicious roommates went to her room to try to see if they could figure out what the noise had been. And first thing they saw was a bunch of blood and a bloody towel on the floor in her room. And so then they started looking around, and then they found the lifeless infant in the closet inside a trash bag, and they called law enforcement.
That girl is going to straight conceal that whole thing.
Yeah, she was trying to.
She had every
Cover.
intention of hiding it.
Yeah, and it just baffles me. I know that some. Okay, I know part of the psychology of a situation is that at her age, she's not full on mentally an adult, but the thing is, she's far beyond a child. She's not. I mean, this is someone who has been living on her own for a few years. She's been having a successful college career. She's a college athlete. She's got all of this stuff going on, and she's been working to conceal this pregnancy, and while juggling the relationships in her life, and so this is, by no means a 100% innocent.
I think should have just went and got medical care for that child.
Yeah, I think that she could have gotten.
Thing.
There's so many different things she could have done. She could have gotten medical care while pregnant. She could have, informed her parents. She could have let other people know what was going on. There was lots of different ways that she could have gotten help, and she didn't. And when she gave birth, she could have called 911 immediately, even if the baby was stillborn. She could have called 911 immediately, instead of trying to conceal the whole thing.
I wonder if she actually thought that she was going to get away with this.
I wouldn't be surprised if she did think she was going to get away with it, because...
When was the last time she was practicing cheer?
Oh, she was like, I think she was 6 or 7 months pregnant in the photos of her doing the cheer pyramid. She was like in the middle row, lifting somebody up onto her own shoulders.
Oh yeah, she's strong.
And
definitely.
And so I think she thought she was going to conceal the whole entire thing. And yeah, the baby, she could have taken the baby to a safe haven.
Do you think they have those over there where she lives, though? The safe haven drop box. I know they have those.
Well, even if it wasn't a drop box, she could still do it at a fire station or at a hospital.
I know they have that.
And
around this country.
There's so many things that she could have done that she didn't do, and it's just
maybe she just has no moral compass.
And then as supportive as her parents seem to be in the aftermath of everything, it's hard for me to believe that they wouldn't have been supportive of her if she had come to them and said, I'm pregnant.
This is just another freaking life ruined right here. I don't know if she's going to recover from this.
And I'm a cold-hearted bitch because I'm not sure if I care whether she recovers from this. I feel bad for her parents. I feel bad for the parents of the father of the child. I feel bad for the father of the child because she obviously also didn't inform him, whoever he may be, and didn't, give him any chance to help her out or anything like that either. And then when it turns out, when they find out who the father is, then he and his own parents are going to be going through the grieving process as well for this lost child that never got a chance to be.
Yep, another terrible story.
And yeah, it's... And see, I have an especially hard time with mothers who take the lives of their children, or fathers that take the lives of their children. But I have a very hard time with people who do horrible things to their children. And especially since, if anybody did the math, they'd be able to figure out that we were very young parents, and that we have a daughter who was taken by surprise by pregnancy and is a very happy mom now and everything, and we supported her through that. It was very rough for her to go through it on her own because in her case the dad wanted nothing to do with being a dad, and and we told her it's gonna be fine, everything's okay, we love you, we got you, you're our baby and you're gonna have a baby, and and you've got us, we're gonna help you 100% of the way, and her baby is a total blessing to all of us. and so it's really hard for me to deal with cases like Lake and Snelling.
Mic drop on that.
Yep.
Put a case up in the comments, guys. We'll talk about that as the worst criminal. Don't stump us. If you don't put a comment in there, we'll have to come up with our own story. I know we're the host. We should have something to talk about. How about that girl that just went missing after her house caught on fire?
What do you think happened with Brittany Gard? That's her name, right?
Yeah.
Brittany Gard. In Indiana. Oh, no, we didn't get a chance to look at Mark Sanchez. And let me make a double underline on Mark Sanchez because we will definitely bring
with Mark Sanchez.
That. I don't know. That's why I'm going to make a double mark on Mark Sanchez and make sure that we bring that one to the table tomorrow.
All the comments will disappear once the live is over. That's something YouTube's been doing now. And they've been doing that for quite a while.
Yeah, it used to be that the comments from the lives would stay there even after we weren't live anymore, and it went to just being like a regular video that people could go watch, and then we'd still be able to go back and see the comments from during the live.
Well, if you think about it, some of the live comments are kind of nasty. Speaking about a truck driver who got attacked.
Oh, wow.
Original Denny is a truck driver. He was attacked. I don't think I want to talk about that, though.
Okay. And if I'm getting it right in the comments, it appears that Mark Sanchez attacked a truck driver and destroyed his face.
Oh.
Okay. Okay. Ex-NFL player.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't follow up on that.
I wonder if this... I'll be interested to go look at that, but I am wondering whether this is going to be a case, since he's an ex-NFL player, I'm wondering if this is going to be a case where the traumatic brain injuries incurred during football are going to have had anything to do with what he ended up doing. Because I know that there have been several documented cases where there have been complete changes in personality or early onset dementia, all sorts of things due to the brain damage that occurs to some players during football.
OJ, football player too.
Yes, he was.
He did two terrible things too.
And
yeah, I imagine he would be suing him after that. Because if he was just collecting grease out of the alleyway from restaurants, when he gets beat up, assaulted and attacked by Sanchez, who's got quarterback money. Was he a quarterback? Or just an NFL player?
nice.
How does it look for tomorrow? Need you to. Need you to what?
Well, we'll be here. We'll be on we'll be on tomorrow. And we will look into it and see what we can discern. Oh,
Wow.
that's graphic. But yeah, we will definitely look into this. This sounds like a kind of right up our alley, huh?
Mark Sanchez. We should pull
I wrote
it
it
up
down.
here on the
Yeah.
other browser.
What, you're gonna try to pull it up on the TV?
On the little thingy over there. Yeah. We need to bring on another browser so we
Yeah.
can look this stuff up.
And yeah, it was interesting that Javi mentioned O.J. Simpson because that was another case where I believe that procedural issues resulted in the complete acquittal of O.J. in the deaths of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman. I don't necessarily believe that he was in fact innocent of those crimes. I do believe that mistakes were made on the part of prosecution, and unfortunately in those times and everything, those times, heck, even in these times, people get fed up with police and prosecutorial misconduct, and the end result is injustice.
I saw that victim the other day. I didn't follow through with it.
Yeah, money bought him innocence.
He's facing felony charges, I know that. We're going to have to do a deep dive into that.
And I think of the O.J. case whenever I think of the original Barry Morphew case, and how the overzealous prosecution of Barry resulted in the police, in the judge and stuff like that, disallowing
Okay, Tony
various
Mueller.
stuff, and I believe that this time around,
I'll put you in a little timeout.
that things are going to go very differently for Barry, and now that he has been spending so much money, I have more confidence that he's not going to be able to grease palms to get out of things this time around. But I'm also going to be keeping my eye out for any kind of misconduct going on. Also, I know that some people asked the other night about the status of Barry's attorneys, and what has happened in that is that they filed some paperwork, and I forget what the technical word for it is, but basically he's still got Jane, and he's got that other guy that's been representing him since this arrest, and that they both have filed paperwork so that right now they are privately retained by Barry, and they will continue to work for him. He's going to continue to pay them until he runs out of money, and then if he runs out of money, they intend to get the money from the state as his court-appointed attorneys.
Uncle Danny M. Danny M. Who? This Come on, Rudy, you got the comment section.
Whose husband is doing?
Current events, yeah, we'll do current events.
Yeah, this is a true crime and current events channel, and we
The
discuss
football player.
those.
That's definitely
those
a current
things,
event, and it's
and
true crime.
Yeah, and if things are both current events and true crime, oh yeah, that's right up our alley.
And if it happens to be political and true crime, and we'll do that. But we won't focus on politics on this channel.
And then this thing here is kind of a...
We might throw some food in this channel, though.
This thing here is kind of a current event, too. We had seen a video that went viral of this guy that made a drink. And apparently they sell these things at KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's a Pepsi and pickle drink. And so my husband decided to try an at-home version after we saw this blow up of this other guy making it, and in his case he used bread and butter pickles to make his, and my hubby used dill pickles, hamburger dill chips, to make this one, and it's actually surprisingly good.
You know,
at first it was really super weird. It's got an interesting balance of flavors, because what he put in here was the pickle chips and some pickle brine, and then Pepsi and ice cubes.
The ice cubes melted right away. I think it has something to do with the acidity of the pickle juices.
I think so too, but I think that the melted ice is kind of what saved this drink for me, because
and
it helped.
You're getting down to those pickles, dear. Dear wife. Yeah, we went to Denver a while back, the other day. You guys notice that it's a very colorful city when you get there. Lots of paint.
It's beautiful. One of the most beautiful cities I've ever been to.
It's fully up and running. Downtown section's not all broken down. It's just a good place to visit, you guys.
Shout out Denver.
You don't know anything about LGBTQ. I don't even know all the letters. But you know what? If you guys want to come on here, you're not going to get any hate. So that means we're not gay. But you guys are welcome to hang out. How's that?
Yeah, basically, we aren't, but we support those who are.
I just support because it's a freedom of choice freaking thing. And you know
what?
How's those pickles now all soaked in Pepsi?
The Pepsi made the pickles really sweet. And they're almost like bread and butter pickles now.
I know we get commenters on here from some of our viewers. Oh, don't eat. Don't eat. Later on, we might throw in a couple more food things. But we'll still be cloaked in true crime and terribleness.
Yeah, Rainbow, it does seem to be a magic cough syrup. I am coughing a lot less with the pickle juice, so I might just be stuck having pickle juice every night until until my cold goes away completely.
Yum. One more pickle. We'll eat that later.
I'll eat the pickle later.
So like and subscribe. We're looking for 10,000 subscribers. It's only about 800 more subs to go. Maybe 9.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that maybe I'll get in the feed more if I get them.
Sauerkraut juice? Like what? Sauerkraut and orange juice and I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder if it would work with sauerkraut juice. I like sauerkraut on like sauerkraut and a good sausage. Chop the sausage up and eat it with the sauerkraut.
It's kind of weird. Tell us the true crime story.
I wasn't going to tell a true crime story. I was trying to decide whether to do a family reveal or not. About
no.
I won't.
No.
But it was one of my father's favorite foods. So.
No, we can't go anything too private. Let's do a true crime. Put a story up, guys. Let's go.
I'd try eating some of that sauerkraut and see if that helps at all, because I would assume that the sauerkraut, the acidity of the sauerkraut might actually help with coughing as well. I was surprised to realize that the pickles help
Pineapple
with.
juice. I gave you pineapple juice the other night. How did that work out? Did it help you stop coughing?
I don't remember. I was really sick the other night though, so maybe that's what just kept me going.
Welcome to our channel,
and-
everybody.
And yeah, a little bit of honey in some herbal tea is really soothing, and also doesn't keep me up all night because it's herbal tea instead of my beloved highly caffeinated teas.
Tell us a story, MMIW. Do you know one? Hey!
Chuck Norris doesn't celebrate holidays; he makes them. Yeah.
Yeah. Like those Chuck Norris tails. I always call that.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Tell us another Chuck Norris thing. Those are pretty funny. Tell us a true crime thing.
Like,
How about but not the one where they ordered pizza and the guy
No.
went upstairs. Just don't do that one.
no, not Savannah. Well, instead of going into any specific one, I would just like to state that one of the biggest problems with missing and murdered indigenous relatives is the jurisdictional issues because of how indigenous nations are sovereign nations, and so there's a jurisdiction issue where outside agencies don't have jurisdiction on the reservations, but in in the reverse, the sovereign nations are often not allowed to prosecute off the reservation. So if someone comes onto the reservation and commits a crime and then leaves the reservation without getting caught, the reservation officers can't do anything about it, and the people outside can't charge them either if the crime took place on the reservation. And so there's this loophole which makes prosecution and investigation very difficult. Fortunately, there are now task forces, but this has just been in the last 5 or 10 years that there started being more communication between law enforcement agencies in order to assist and get jurisdiction issues kind of shored up. But that's some of the problem, and other problems would be just the fact that a lot of times if a crime against a native person happens off the reservation, unfortunately, a lot of times they're considered to be like throwaway people by the law enforcement agencies around, and they're just like, oh, how do you know this person's missing? They might have just, wandered off, gone home, done whatever, and they don't really look at it. Just the same as in the Mary Collins case, where they were telling her grandma that she wasn't missing because she's an adult. Well, this happens with other adults too, even adults that don't have any kind of that don't have disabilities or anything, but they just happen to not be white. That there are still, unfortunately, prejudices and misconceptions to where they think, oh, they're flighty people. They're just, they're here one day, gone the next. You can't possibly tell me this person's actually a missing person. They're not endangered, and that kind of thing. So it doesn't get investigated right away. And as with the popularity of TV shows like The First 48 and stuff like that, you understand that if a case doesn't get traction in that first window of opportunity, that the chances of solving it are greatly diminished. And then now I'm gonna pop over to Brittany. Okay.
Brittany.
and she's not an MMIW or MMIR or anything like that, but that's another example of an adult person who Brittany Gard, a person who was missing for a small period of time, 8 days, but she was Caucasian in a small town, so it got a lot of response and a lot of people were looking.
That went
boots on the ground,
probably beyond.
but still she was not found for the first 8 days, and then on the 8th day she turned her own cell phone back on, called 911 for a rescue, and that leaves questions as to whether she herself had a mental or medical emergency herself, or if she was taken by someone and then released, or what. And then there's the fire at her house that did she set it? Did somebody else set it? Did it accidentally occur? Like, did she have something on the stove and then she wandered out and didn't come back and it caught on fire? There's just a whole lot.
But she was found 8 days later with a fully charged phone.
Well, it had been turned off for 8 days. So that tends to save battery if the phone is off. And
what about blankets? How much is she supposed to survive in the woods for 8 days? It's cold. You'd get tired.
Well, apparently it hadn't gotten that cold until the day that she called 911.
No.
But, I don't think that she was actually out there in the woods for the whole 8 days. I don't know what happened to her, and I hope that whatever it was, that she's not in any danger now.
Nikki McCain. You can make note of that. That seems to be. Do you have a paper? Mm-hmm. Looking for stories, guys. 2.5 miles from home. I could have walked 2.5 miles. And she's been there before, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
So there's obviously no reason to be missing. She could have just walked home. Since she survived for 8 days, she could have just went home.
Yeah, which makes me wonder about things like early onset dementia or
pickle, eat that pickle.
Or diabetes, insulin issue, mental health issue. Several different things could have happened. Very
Pickle and Pepsi. Look, the pickle is like absorbed. And now it's being discolored, isn't it? Or something?
Yeah, it's Pepsi colored.
It's Pepsi colored now? Is it
A
just
Pepsi colored, Pepsi colored pickle. Very strange. You want it?
No.
Okay.
Unless it tastes like pickle relish. I really like pickle relish, guys. Cupcake, hi, where have you been? Been waiting for you. I see we made you a moderator already. Thanks for stopping by. Earlier, we were talking about a Pepsi, and we were talking about mixing it with pickles. And we served it all up, and Miss Jewel, she consumed the whole jar. So,
I didn't consume a whole jar of pickles.
No.
I consumed. He poured me half a bottle of Pepsi with pickles and
Pickle brine.
pickle brine, and some ice cubes that melted right away, and I think that helped take down the acidity of because it's dill pickle.
Pickle. I bet you
And
the ice cubes really had something to do with that. I think the ice cubes are kind of melted.
that's what I was saying, because I think
Judging how fast they melted.
because the guy on the video that did it, he did it with bread and butter pickles, and so I'm guessing that they might not have been as acidic as dill pickles. And I hear our son coughing and sneezing. And
I know, everybody's busy. Busy. There. You read.
on Yankee vanished in May 2024 after texting family members she was heading home. Her husband Tyler has now been charged for her unaliving.
We'll try to cover that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Ching. So you guys can hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Definitely trying to grow this thing.
And like, subscribe, share, tell people about us if you like us. And even if you don't like us, tell people about us, and maybe we'll get some more views. And
You know, another story of some horrible people. Speaking of no bodies found, tell us about the little ones.
Classic and Sincere Pettis. Oh my God, this one's heartbreaking. In California, Classic and Sincere Pettis were two toddler boys who basically through mishap and misunderstanding ended up in Child Protective Services, while they did have blood family relatives that were willing and able to take them in. And they had loving parents who very much wanted to do whatever it took to get their babies back. And before they were ever even given a chance, the Children's Protective Service went and illegally adopted these kids out to Trezell and Jacqueline West, to immediately rename them Orrin and Orson West. These are toddlers.
Then they moved them from Bakersfield, California.
They moved from Bakersfield, California to California City, and this was during
Kitty, come here.
and this was during COVID, and so there weren't really any visits from protective services or anything, and the kids weren't required to be on video call or anything, especially since now they were adopted. And then finally, shortly before Christmas in 2020, I believe, Trezell and Jacqueline went on air, being all upset or appearing to be upset, but then when you look at them, they're not really crying or anything.
Oh yeah.
As they're claiming, yeah, Trezell's hugging himself. Their body language was completely off, as they are telling reporters that these two toddlers had been in the backyard playing and had wandered off from their California City home.
What month that
And December.
Oh, it's cold out there.
And the biological family of the kids had seen this report on television, had recognized the photos of the babies, and they had rushed out there to offer help and support and to help look, to be boots on the ground. There was a lot of animosity going on between the Wests and the biological family. It was obvious that the Wests had done something. And this was also another case where I mistook the lack of cooperation on the part of Trezell's parents as being them corroborating Trezel's story when it turns out that they actually testified against Trezel at trial also, and did let slip what they thought had happened by at one point when a reporter was asking how they felt while the boys were still missing and Trezel and Jacqueline had not been charged yet. Trezel's mom said, "We're grieving, and we're in mourning too." And then when it came to trial, it was the West's own biological children, because they had some biological, some adopted, and some foster kids, and their own biological children testified against them and said that the parents had been really strict with the two young adopted babies because they cried too much, because obviously they were illegally adopted by the West and they wanted their parents back. They wanted their real names back.
Morning the search.
And
this morning the
I guess my hubby's starting to watch TV, so I will hurry up. Long story short, and then we'll get out of here. But anyway, testified that they had seen the 4-year-old, that's the older of the two kids, they had seen him have some sort of seizure and stop breathing, and their parents told them, go away, whatever, and then they never saw him again. And that same deal with the younger one, but this was in California City, I think they said, with the younger one. I don't know. I think the older child never made it to California City, and I'm not sure if the second one ever made it to California City or not, but they said that they heard a loud thump and never saw that other baby again either, and that Trezel and Jacqueline just kind of said, oh, they went away or something like that, and wouldn't tell the kids anything. Anyway, Trezel and Jacqueline were convicted of the murder of the older child, and I don't recall what charge, it wasn't murder, that they came up with for the second child. Meanwhile, the remains of either boy have never been found. There's no sign of what happened, and Trezel and Jacqueline have kept their mouths shut, have not asked for mercy, have not, tried to, in exchange for getting out earlier or anything like that, because they're not getting life or anything like that. They I believe, each got less than 20 years, and have not said what happened to those children or where their remains are, so that they've never been able to be returned to their biological families. And there's no answers other than that these horrible people took the lives of these innocent children and tried to make it look like it never happened. And so I guess that's it for tonight, and
we'll look up the story
tomorrow.
of Jacob Pritchett up in New York, out of Brooklyn. Apparently they're going to be searching for him in the freaking landfill. Apparently. We'll look into that one for you guys. You want to come back and check that out tomorrow?
And have a great night, and see you guys tomorrow. I got to go.
Where did you go, Karen? Did you go out to California City? Or? Oh, wait, what? Yeah, they were arrested in their RV, weren't they?
Yeah, they were trying to flee in their RV when a good Samaritan spotted them and phoned it in because they were trying to flee. They were at a post office, picked up the last of their mail, and were heading out of town.
Wednesday Addams. That's your girl, Wednesday Addams. You don't have Netflix, do you? You used to have Netflix.
They're adding her to
Oh,
Fortnite.
she's gonna be
Cool.
on Fortnite. That's the apparently if you're successful, you'll be on Fortnite. You needed someone to take D4VD, wasn't he on there?
Yes, he was.
Mm-hmm. Not anymore. So they need to find a replacement for David.
Jenna Ortega is a good replacement.
I wonder what she looked
Anyway,
like. Alrighty, we're gonna cut this short. Thank you, everybody. Subscribe, hit that like button, share the video. Good night, everybody.
see you tomorrow.